For centuries, the only way between continents was by ship. It's easy to forget that until quite recently, the millions of people who travelled overseas each year did so at sea level. The big ships are still with us, but carry freight between continents. And the new liners, smaller, faster, carry people to new ports, near major cities. Why state the obvious? Because the new technology is more sophisticated and the mechanical efficiency greater, we easily forget that these new ports handle far more people than the huge floating ships of the 20s. This modern dry dock gives some idea of the scale and complexity behind today's sit-in-the-sky travel. The Qantas base at Mascot involves enormous workshops, the most sophisticated technology, huge support facilities of all kinds, and over 8,000 staff. That's just for one airline. There are domestic airlines, corporate airlines, air freight lines. Whole industries depend on these huge new ports. And the infrastructure, while not so obvious to the traveller, is enormous. For instance, this seaside paddock called Kingsford Smith handles 14 million people a year. And 19,000 people work at or from this spot. And each day, to and from it, staggering ground traffic. It's staggering because an airport attracts more than travellers. There are the people who work here, the people who deliver here, the hordes of people who see people off and see people on. Think of the fuel, the waste, duplication, time taken, delays, the fumes, enough to jam the overloaded road networks of the city and damage the environment. Just as seaports need rail links, so do air ones. In a number of cities overseas, fast rail links have been or are being built to the new ports, usually passing underneath them and integrated with them. A passenger rail link to Mascot would solve a great many problems now and later. It would mean, for instance, that the huge Qantas parking headache could be relieved and the base could recruit more workforce from the north. Right now, 90% of their staff travel by car. It would mean far fewer commuter cars. Why risk delays and pay for expensive parking if a train takes you straight to the terminal? Currently, 42% of passengers travel to or from by taxi and 16% by bus. We could expect these figures to considerably decline. But it's a long way from Central to Mascot. A heavy rail link would cost a fortune. There is a freight line that goes past the airport to Botany, but it's used to service the rapidly growing seaport. Although this line is needed, another track could be laid on the same alignment to serve a rapidly growing airport. Because the state budget is fully committed, the government has established guidelines that allow private finance to construct and run the link, subject to the necessary checks and balances. The first proposal was received from CRI, Qantas and Westpac. Their original plan was this: a link from Sydenham Station to the existing freight line here, a new station at Mascot to service the Qantas base, then a tunnel under the airport with 2 more stations, domestic and international. Right now, there are 2 unused platforms above the eastern suburbs line at Central. The new link could start here. It will mean tunnelling. Ideally, a tunnel would go straight to the airport, but this would mean great cost. Another plan would be to use the existing tracks through Redfern to Sydenham, then link with the Botany freight line alignment. The problem with this is that the lines here are already used to capacity. Or the line could parallel the F5 freeway, then enter a tunnel to link with the airport. The consortium has completed and submitted a detailed proposal on AirportLINK. CityRail is now calling for expressions of interest. Imagine for a moment you and your luggage arrive at the new modern Central Railway departure desk. Yes, the station staff here are actually checking you in for your journey. You show your integrated rail air ticket and they take your luggage. It will be sorted on the short train journey and transferred to your airport terminal.
The 9:15 to airport is now departing on platform 1.
You relax for the short journey. The train is unique, specially designed single-deck luxury. The ticket price is higher than normal, but so is the standard. You're far underground, certain to make your flight. No fighting through the rain, foul-ups with the cab, traffic jams, delays on the bridge. Now you surface and head for port, dipping again below the tarmac toward the modern subway stations. This is you, International Terminal. A station that's part of the airport terminal. The escalator takes you to the departure lounge. Nothing to do here but get your boarding pass. Meanwhile, your luggage is being routed straight to your plane. We don't pretend it will be exactly like this, but we're asking for proposals of this kind. It's an exciting prospect, but nothing's decided yet. We're after the private sector group with the best ideas and credentials. Although we have one group interested, we'd like more. Remember, there are strict government guidelines, and all proposals will be subject to in-depth study, which will include environmental impact. AirportLINK, an umbilical cord to the airport. It can be, and it will be. All we need now is the right idea and right people with the will to carry it through.